It was the second time Ruby met Clifford at the suite, the hotel where Chizoba often took her when he didn't want to come to her place or to his other hidden apartment. She was sitting alone in the lounge when Clifford walked in. He grinned. Omaliha way thief my friend Hart. If you leave him, he fit run mad. Oh. She laughed, despite herself. They sat for a moment. You day okay? He asked gently. She nodded but inside, she wasn't. And he saw it. That Sunday evening, after that conversation, Ruby went out to buy Mashia local toasted bread and fried eggs from the Aboki down the street. She wore a big t-shirt and rubber slippers. Her hair was tied up in a scarf. She hadn't planned to see anyone. She just needed something warm, something familiar. As she stood by the roadside bench, watching the Aboki press her bread into the hot pan, she heard a voice behind her. Are you sick? Your face looks gloomy. It was Juliet, her chubby, polite neighbor who always greeted her warmly in passing. Ruby sighed. I'm fine. But Juliet didn't leave. She stood beside her, arms folded. You don't look fine. They walked back together, slowly, in silence. Juliet didn't pry, but she stayed. That night, they sat in Ruby's room. They ate the mashia they bought, shared their stories of life's hurdles with their hands greased with oil. The television buzzed in the background, forgotten. Their laughter was soft, their tears honest. A new friendship was birthed, not one from dresses, shoes, or bags, but a bond formed from the stories of lives. Weeks later, Ruby found herself waking up nauseous, her body heavier than usual, her energy drained. At first, she dismissed it as stress. Life had been a whirlwind of emotions lately. But when her period didn't come, not even after a week, a quiet dread began to creep in. She bought a test. Alone in her tiny bathroom, hands trembling, she waited. And there it was, 2 pink lines. Bold, clear, pregnant. She sank onto the edge of the bathtub. Her breath caught between a gasp and a sob. She didn't want a baby. She wanted love. She wanted certainty. She wanted to matter in someone's future. And now, she felt like her life had just shattered into 1,000 quiet pieces. This wasn't what she had planned for herself. She cried uncontrollably, saying, I must call Chizoba. Having thought about it carefully, between panic something flickered, something like hope. If only she knew what was going to happen next. Chizoba didn't pick Shiso. She remembered that Clifford gave her his number. And so she called him crying on the phone. Worried, he asked her what was wrong. She asked to see him, and he said, I am home. Can you come to my house? She said, okay. Then she remembered. She did not know where Clifford lived. She had never been to his compound, so she texted him. She suggested a bar close to her street. He was reluctant. He didn't want to betray Chizoba, didn't want to get involved, but he eventually dragged himself there. They sat under the dim light, drinks in hand. Ruby's voice shook as she told him about the pregnancy, about how everything in her life felt like it was folding in. Clifford didn't interrupt. He listened more than he spoke. And even though he had known for months that Chizoba was married, he didn't tell her. He couldn't. He just said quietly, You sure say this man never marry? He didn't say much, but this question was enough to make Ruby understand. She shook the feeling off. Clifford told her he could talk to him, but for now he has something doing. He left. Later that evening, Ruby sat on the edge of her mattress, phone pressed to her ear. She decided to call Chizoba again, heart pounding so loudly she could barely hear herself think. This time he picked. Chizoba, she whispered. I'm pregnant. There was silence on the line. A long, cold pause. Then his voice came, calm and calculated. Ruby, listen. Right now, I have a lot on my plate. I'm sponsoring my younger sister's university education. I'm also building a house for my mother back home. Ruby didn't say a word. He continued. You're a smart woman. You know how things work. We can't do this like this. Let's do it properly. Properly? She echoed. Yes, you know what I mean. I didn't plan for this. I don't think it's wise to keep it. So what are you saying? I can refund whatever you spend. Just take care of it quietly. Let's not make things messy. Ruby felt her throat tighten, the back of her eyes burned. Then she asked the question she has been suspecting since the last Clifford with her spoke. Chizoba, are you a married man? Chizoba drew a deep breath and ended the call without a word after the call ended. She stared into space for hours. That night, she couldn't sleep. Her mind spun with thoughts, regret, pain, and disbelief. 2 days later, Juliet came over with her usual nylon bag of puff-puff and a fake smile. Ruby opened the door slowly, face pale, her body too weak to pretend. Juliet plopped down on the chair. You look like someone who swallowed storm. Ruby blinked slowly. I'm pregnant. Juliet's brows shot up. Chizoba. Ruby nodded, her voice cracking. And he asked me to get rid of it. Said he has too much on his plate, his sister's school, his mother's house, that we should do it properly, and that he'll refund me whatever I spend. She added, I think he is married. Juliet asked, how sure are you? She told her what Clifford said, and when she asked him, he only took a deep breath and ended the call. Juliet gasped and grabbed her hand. What? Ruby? That's wickedness. Ruby looked at her, silent. It's well, Ruby. I'm here for you, Juliet added. You're not alone. And Ruby, broken and fragile, believed her. But the whispers began 2 days later. She say the guy deny him. Imagine, fine girl like that no even get sense. He don't carry bell for person husband. She wouldn't use pregnancy trap am. Ruby could feel it in every stare or every smirk, every giggle that stopped when she walked by. She knew it was Juliet. On Sunday evening, the rain threatened to fall but held back like it too was waiting for the confrontation. Juliet came knocking again, holding Puff-Puff like a bribe, acting like nothing had happened. Ruby opened the door. She didn't greet. She didn't smile. Juliet fidgeted, avoiding her eyes. I came to say I am sorry. Ruby stared at her, voice calm but cutting. Sorry for what? Ruby asked. Juliet said, for not coming to check up on you for 3 days now. Ruby shook her head and asked, why did you do it? Juliet's face twitched. I didn't meant. It just slipped out. Ruby's eyes burned. You told them my pain like it was market gist. Juliet shifted her weight. Did you think I was going to die? So you decided to tell the whole world before I closed my eyes. Juliet blinked fast. She stammered. Ruby cut in. You sat there, ate in my room, said I'm here for you, and the next thing, the whole compound is talking. Juliet opened her mouth, but no words came. Ruby's voice rose, trembling with emotion. Answer me, Juliet. Why did you do it? What was your gain? To see them mock me? To see me broken? Then Juliet broke. Her lips trembled. I was jealous, she whispered. Ruby froze. Juliet's voice cracked. I was jealous of you. Of how people always admire you when we take a stroll together. Of how you walk with your head high, like nothing touches you. Ruby stared at her like a stranger. I didn't mean to hurt you, Juliet added, but the damage was done. Ruby stepped back. Get out and take your Puff-Puff with you. Juliet didn't move at first. Then Ruby's voice turned cold. Get out. She left. And this time, Ruby didn't cry. She locked her door, sat down, stared at her wall and whispered, even the worst betrayal won't bury me. Ruby had done it. The termination. Quietly. Alone. She didn't tell anyone how the woman who handled it barely looked her in the eye, or how the place smelled like old antiseptic and shame. She walked home that day feeling like half a person, hollow and bruised. 2 nights later, it began. Past 2 a.m., she woke up in a pool of her own blood. The cramps were unbearable, like someone had lit a fire in her womb. She doubled over, whispering, *, dear Lord, have mercy. Please. She drifted in and out of consciousness, the pain like waves crashing and receding, only to return fiercer. At 6 a.m., Claire, her easygoing neighbor who mostly minded her business, was walking past Ruby's window when she heard the groans. At first, she ignored it, but something about the sound made her pause. Ruby? Claire called gently. No answer. Claire tried again, louder. Ruby? Are you okay? Still silence. Panic set in. Claire, who had once been on friendly terms with Ruby's sister Value before she left, grabbed her phone and called her immediately. Your sister's introubled, she said. She's not responding. She's in pain. I'm in me way, Value replied, her voice sharp with urgency. Please help her, please. Claire dashed outside, flagged down a passing Keek driver she knew from the junction, and begged him to help. Together, they managed to break down Ruby's door. She was barely conscious. Blood soaked the sheets. Claire held her hand. Stay with us, Ruby, just stay. They rushed her to the nearest hospital. The sky was already bright when they arrived, and Ruby's world had gone completely dark. 7 hours later, Value appeared at the hospital entrance, her face drawn with exhaustion and fear. She found Claire pacing, muttering a prayer beneath her breath when Value asked where her sister was. Claire silently pointed to the room. Seeing Ruby so pale broke something inside her. She rushed to her bedside, grabbing her hand, tears flowing freely. Please don't go. You are my favorite person even when I don't show it. 30 minutes later, Juliet arrived with her loud friend Timmy. Without tact, Timmy blurted, "We should call your parents and tell them how useless their daughter is." Value turned slowly, her eyes sharp as cutlass. Claire stood beside her. The two women tore into Timmy and Juliet with words that scorched more than fire. The two intruders left in shame, heads bowed. Not long after, Ruby stirred, her eyes opened to see Value holding her hand. Claire in the corner. "Value?" she whispered. Value sobbed, hugging her gently. "I'm here, I'm not going anywhere." Ruby's eyes found Claire. "Thank you." Claire smiled. "You're always welcome." The doctor walked in with the results. "She's stable," he said. "We'll do a last scan to confirm." After the scan, the verdict was clear. Ruby was okay. Out of danger. She was discharged that evening. Claire and Value went to the market and made spicy pepper soup. The aroma filled Ruby's small home. When she finally ate again, her strength began to return. The healing had started. Months passed, and one afternoon, her phone rang. A strange number, but the voice, familiar. Cheesy OBA. Value was nearby. She glanced at Ruby and said, "Don't answer." Ruby shook her head. "I got this." She picked up. "Hello, babe," he said, like nothing happened. What he didn't know was Ruby had done her digging. She knew now he was married, with a son. That was why he panicked when she posted his photo. Why she never saw his house. He wasn't just hiding, he was lying. He rambled about missing her, about life being tough, about needing someone to talk to. Ruby waited. Listened. Then she laughed. A bitter, knowing laugh. "I know everything, Chizoba, about your wife. Your son. The real reason you never took me to your house," he stuttered. "It's not like that, I mean, yes, I have a son. But..." She cut him off. "Don't insult both of us with excuses. Your lies sound foolish even to you." He paused. Then ended the call. Ruby dropped the phone and turned to find Value gaping at her. Then, like a movie scene, they burst into laughter. That's my mother's first daughter, Value said, raising her a hand for a high five. And Ruby felt free. Value and Ruby decided to move to another place away for that vicinity to Egypt, where they both started afresh. Value got a job at a local radio station, a dream she had shelved for years. Ruby was ecstatic. Mass communication finally paying, Value said, grinning. One slow afternoon, Ruby looked at her sister. I want to tell my story for others to learn from my mistakes and build on my strength. Turn this pain into something beautiful, Value nodded. Then tell it. So Ruby began small videos, notes, voiceovers, speaking to young women visiting community events, reminding them they were more than survival stories. She poured energy into her business, her bonnets, her hair oils. She signed up for digital courses. She learned branding, marketing, customer service. Slowly, orders started coming in. She was becoming no longer just a girl with pain, but a woman with purpose. Mrs. Sokipiram Diamond, fair and elegant even at 53, still stood out in a crowd. Her beauty, once celebrated, now wore the weight of years soaked in sorrow. Pain was etched into the corners of her smile. The kind of pain only a woman who loved too deeply and lost herself in the process could understand. She had seen so much, endured more. Her story began many years ago, when a young Sokipiram lived freely in the riverside town of Abonima, bright-eyed and full of dreams. A proud graduate of theatre arts from the prestigious University of Port Harcourt, she was beloved by her best friend, Mrs. Diamite, who encouraged her to pursue her master's degree. "You're brilliant, Soki," Mrs. Diamite had said. "Don't let love distract you, though higher, you have more to give." And Sokipiram had agreed, until she met Mr. Diamond, a dark, charming engineer from Yob who had come to work on the road connecting Abonima to Port Harcourt. What started as light-hearted friendship quickly blossomed into intense love. Mr. Diamond offered to sponsor her postgraduate studies, but Sokipiram refused. She believed that her love would carry her, that her husband's house would become her home, her stage, her legacy. But her father didn't approve. He wanted more for her. He had warned her, "This man is not of our tribe. He is not of our ways," when he refused her hand in marriage. Sokipiram made the desperate choice to get pregnant for Mr. Diamond. It broke her father's heart. In rage and disappointment, he disowned her. On her wedding day, it was her uncle who stood as her father, quietly heartbroken, performing the rites with trembling hands. Life in Yob began with love, but it did not stay that way. Mr. Diamond's mother, Mrs. Rafiat Diamond, had never hidden her distaste for Sokipiram. She had always wanted her son to marry someone from their tribe and religion. So she made life unbearable. She isolated Sokipiram, mocked her language, ridiculed her meals. Sokipiram was made to feel like a stranger in her own home. Then came Aisha, a quiet storm. Mr. Diamond brought Aisha home under the pretense of needing support. Aisha was young, obedient, and from their tribe. She moved in like a shadow, then a flame. Together, Aisha and Rafiat turned Sokipiram's life into silent torture. They ganged up on her, laughed behind her back, used religion and tradition as weapons. They treated her like a stain that wouldn't wash off. Eventually, the abuse wasn't just emotional, it stretched to Ruby and Value. They were fed last, mocked, dismissed, treated like burdens. And Mr. Diamond? He said nothing. He watched his wife and children with her, and did nothing. The only thing he ever offered was a receipt for primary school tuition. Everything else, secondary school, food, dignity, was up to Sokipiram. She took a job as a secondary school teacher, saved what little she could, and raised her daughters in pain and silence. But emotionally, she distanced herself from them, especially Ruby. It wasn't that she didn't love Ruby. She simply didn't know how to reach her anymore. The guilt had built a wall too high. She couldn't go back home. not after what she had thrown away. So she buried herself in routine, in sacrifice, in silence. It was a quiet Saturday afternoon in Port Harcourt. Ruby had just finished rinsing her Zobo bottles when she heard a knock on the door. She wiped her hands and opened it. There stood her mother, Sokipiram, with a nylon bag of fruit, a plastic flask of soup, and eyes that carried years of silence. Behind her stood Value, smirking like someone who had orchestrated a miracle. "Mama?" Ruby said, her voice barely above a whisper. "I came to see my daughter," Sokipiram replied, holding back tears. "If you'll let me." Ruby didn't speak. She just stepped aside and opened the door wider. They didn't say much that day, but they didn't need to. They sat in silence, ate together, laughed a little. Then Sokipiram said, "I want to take you girls somewhere." "Where?" Ruby asked. "Home."